The world has watched the conflict in Ukraine with bated breath for the last 13 months, with many hoping for a resolution that finally brings an end to the violence and suffering. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin have spent the last 2 days establishing a strong partnership between the two countries and also discussing the issues at hand to see if diplomacy can help find a solution to the conflict. The discussions, which have resulted in Putin expressing his openness to discussing China's proposals on the situation in Ukraine and seeing the significance of the Chinese leader's visit, began Monday evening. The two leaders celebrated over a 6-course gourmet meal of blini with quail and mushrooms, fish, and pomegranate sorbet, with Putin escorting Xi to his car afterward, signifying the bond between the two. The White House has called on Xi to use his influence to press Putin to withdraw troops from Ukraine and halt the war crimes, asserting that a ceasefire alone is not enough. Japan has also thrown its weight behind Ukraine, with Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on his way to Kiev to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. China, which has taken a position of neutrality in the conflict, has suggested that the parties involve dialogue, respect each other's sovereignty, and end economic sanctions. China has also insisted that the idea of invoking nuclear weapons in the altercation be abandoned. The US is however concerned that China may be agreeing to a ceasefire that would leave Russian forces inside Ukraine but also enable Russia to restart the war when it would be more advantageous. The Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, has accused China of offering diplomatic cover to prevent Russia from facing the consequences of its actions, and Ukraine has not ruled out the possibility of Xi's own talks with Zelensky. China's official media have maintained that focus on the success of China and Russia's partnership, with Xi and Putin setting a fine example for new major country relations based on mutual respect, peaceful coexistence and win-win cooperation. Since the Ukraine war began 13 months ago, the International Criminal Court, ICC, has put out an International Criminal Court warrant for Putin, something that was not mentioned by China in its reports on the events this week. The combination of East Asian, American and European efforts for Ukraine is certainly an indication that the conflict is being taken seriously, although it is uncertain if any discussions will ultimately become successful. International observers will continue to wait with hope that with the combination of global efforts, the conflict in Ukraine can be successfully resolved and the suffering of the people there can come to an end.